Hello, everyone, and oh, good. All right, good. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone, to 4pixels. Koku and Kanetsu are here, and we are continuing the house in Fata Morgana. Before we begin, just letting you know that this year we are participating in Extra Life. If you are not aware, Extra Life is a charity campaign in which streamers stream usually throughout the month of November. We're starting a little early to raise money for children's hospitals. If you look below the video where we have our description, you will see our link and it can take you to the website where you can read more if you are curious about how it works exactly. It will take you to our donation page, and the first couple options list specific amounts. But if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's an other category where you can list whatever amount you want. If you have even just $1, that helps. And if you don't, we're just glad that you're here. But just to make sure that it's clear, bits unfortunately do not count towards the donation since that requires us to make a specific amount, $100, before we can actually draw it out. So we won't be able to give those towards Extra Life. But let us begin. Not sure who this would be.
The maid?
Let's see who's talking. I'll go ahead and read for now until we know. The Pacific Railroad's last spike ceremony was drawing near by the day. That day was, coincidentally, the deadline the two of them had set for themselves. Jacopo to confront his wife, and the white-haired girl to wait for him. And as they approached, she continued to write letters. She wrote the letters purely by force of habit, despite having been worn visibly thin. I expect that she could not stop, that the act of writing was all that kept her from going mad. By focusing her attention on another person through her letters, she was able to maintain her grip on herself. But that day would put an end to her suffering and despair. When the railroad was completed, all their misunderstandings would be cleared up. They would return to the smiling, happy couple they had been when they first married. The harsh winter would finally come to a close, melting away the past and allowing them to step into the future. With constant prayer in my heart, I impatiently waited the railroad's opening ceremony. I do not, after all, wish for anyone to fall into any kind of misfortune. And that goes for you as well, Master. Now, Master, the door is soon to be shut upon this era. Are you prepared to see what happens next? I see. Very well. Then allow us to make our way to that final day. See with your own eyes, Master, how this tale concludes. And please, do not let go of my hand. That's gonna happen at some point, and shit's gonna go down.
Yeah. You can't bring it up so many times and have it not happen.
The night before the opening ceremony, the master of the house headed for his wife's shed.
Oh yeah, they're actually being adults.
There was a tension on his face, but a surety in his step. He had found the resolve to speak with her. Having locked her away for so long in the shed like a common prisoner, Jacopo was hardly pessimistic about what she might say to him. He had undeniably mistreated her, said heartless and cruel things to her, and even gotten physically violent with her. His actions were inexcusable, even if they were in response to her infidelity. Of course, The very infidelity which had driven him to such behavior had not, in fact, taken place, but he was unaware of that. There was a chance they would never reconcile their misunderstandings, and that this predicament would not have a positive resolution, but he still clung to a tiny fragment of hope. He wanted to start over with the white-haired girl, to make a new future with her. With that desire burning strong in his heart, he stood before the door to her shed and called out to her.
Are you awake? It's me, Hakopo. May I come in? I won't hurt you. I will not raise my hand against you again. I swear to you, I will do you no harm. I just wish to speak. I would like to have a calm, rational conversation. And as such, I will not enter your room until you have given me your permission. So may I please come in? You won't even give me a response. Slams the door.
I mean, didn't she... I remember there was something that drew her away to the door last time we played.
Something happened and then like she just everything turned like all spinny for her and then we switched scenes.
Oh, okay.
Alright. Considering how you must feel about me, I shouldn't be surprised. Fine, then you don't have to let me in. But please at least hear me out. Do you remember the day, shortly after we first met, when we went on our honeymoon? If you can even call the little walk we took a honeymoon. I wasn't able to do anything nice for you then either.
Ah, that's right. Thank you, Tawarm.
Oh yeah, she left it and then she saw it, right? And she was
Yeah,
like, "What is this painting? Oh god!" And then like everything went all like black.
yeah. And I think it was the painting that Nellie found in the
Yeah.
first chapter, but it didn't really confirm that, so that's just an idea.
I had no experience, no idea how to interact with an upper class woman like you. I didn't know what I should do for you. And yes, I know that makes me sound juvenile. I have a tendency to say things I don't mean the more perturbed I get. I'm sure I said things to hurt you numerous times that day. However, at the photography shop, when you saw the scope, you smiled for me. I was genuinely pleased in that moment. I felt like I had gotten closer to you. I very much doubt I was actually an appropriate present for a noble woman like yourself. Jewels or flowers or something like that, something beautiful, would have certainly suited you better. And I knew that, but I assumed you would have been given gifts like that countless times in the past. You are, after all, a beautiful woman. I did not want to have to compete on the same field as those other men. I wanted to be special. No, I wanted to be unique to you. No one had ever shown you anything of the sort before, had they? Frankly, I wasn't sure if a woman of your status would take any interest in that scope at all. I imagine you've thrown it out by now, but I choose to believe you sincerely liked it on that day. That, if it's just for a moment, I caught your eye. Even if you started seeing other men afterwards, that moment was real, wasn't it? Our marriage was, at its core, nothing but an arrangement between our parents, an exchange of money and influence. That was how it began, but that day I loved you. I yearned to see you smile as if I had loved you in my entire life. The Pacific Railroad has finally been completed. That's the project I've been funding. Everyone thought it was crazy, but the railroad now stretches across the breadth of this country. Already?
I mean, I don't think it started when this chapter started. I think it's something he's been working on a long time.
Ah, okay. A joining ceremony will be held tomorrow. It's going to be a grand event. Locally, they're planning on doing a gun salute. And the sound of the last spike being driven into the ground will be transmitted across the country via telegraph. I have procured the telegraph so we can listen to it here in the mansion. Why wouldn't you just be there for it?
Well, I think because he wants her to be part of it, but since it'll probably take place during the day.
Oh, that's right, she gets sick traveling. In your condition, you would probably have trouble handling the crowds at the telegraph station. But here, you could celebrate in the comfort of your own home. I suppose what I'm saying is, I want to celebrate this with you. I have made arrangements to make that possible for you because I wish to have you there with me. Would you be willing, tomorrow, to celebrate the completion of the Pacific Railroad with me? Would you be there at my side? Please, say something! I want to start over! I know very well what I've done to you. You may be at fault yourself, but what I did is unacceptable. What? But what I did was a consequence of my overpowering love for you. Oh, because that justifies everything. I swear it. Why? Why will you not answer me? Say something, anything! Please, please! You can hear me in there, can't you? I don't think she's in there.
Yeah, I don't think so.
If you don't want to, you can just say no. If you do reject me, I'll set you free. Oh, okay, reject them. I won't hurt you, I promise. The door is not locked. Who opened it? Hello? Either she's not there or she's passed out.
Yeah. A humid spring breeze brushed against his cheeks. The drawn lace curtains appeared to glow in the gentle moonlight. The white-haired girl was not in her room.
Where have you gone?
Stupefied, he glanced about his wife's chambers. To my eyes, the neatly organized room appeared no different than any other day. But to his eyes it was pale and hollow. For the one who was supposed to be there, who was supposed to be waiting for him, was not present. He could not hear her voice from anywhere in the shed. In its place echoed a dry rustling, a sad, pitiful, empty whisper of a noise. It came from the lone object left abandoned atop her desk.
The scope.
Well, you can see that she still has it. Or had it.
Maybe she broke it.
It was the one present Jacobo had ever given the white-haired girl, a toy made of paper. When spun and viewed in a mirror, created the illusion of a man and a woman dancing.
You still had this? That's ridiculous. I assumed you had thrown it out.
The white-haired girl had evidently made considerable use of the scope. The paper was visibly worn and tattered, warped in places, and had even begun to yellow. It spun slowly in the wind, rustling and rustling and rustling, spinning in an endless reminder of the day the year before, though there was no longer anyone around to look through it.
Why? But you were with other men. Why would you keep something I gave you? It's so warm. Why? A letter.
Beneath the ever-rotating scope lay a single sheet of paper. As if drawn to it, he scanned the contents of the parchment. It was a letter addressed to Caro mi Jacopo. The salutation written in his native language, translated as follows. My beloved Jacopo. I just realized I said it in Spanish and not in Italian. Did the fruits of your dream turn out as you had hoped? I am sure it was wonderful and impressively fast. A train that can travel across a continent as large as this, like something out of a story. I wish I could have been there to see it. I'm sure it would have been quite pleasant, like the day you gave me the Fenakis wheel. Am I being presumptuous? I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I thought I would keep waiting for you forever, no matter how much you hated or ignored me. But I made up my mind, so I'm sorry. I decided I would wait for you until the railroad was completed. I foolishly thought that you might invite me to the opening ceremony, but it seems I am not good enough for you. I'm going to take my leave of your house, so you needn't concern yourself with me any longer. However, I do have one request. Please do not forget about all the letters I wrote. Think back on them from time to time. Do not burn them all, for they contain my thoughts, my feelings, my words, a record of my love for you. Remember, when you can, that I was always watching you. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble writing. My ears are ringing. There's a voice whispering to me, calling me a witch. Maybe it's your voice. My vision is blur. I'm not even sure what. Did she poison herself or something?
I think she's just like having a
Meltdown?
maybe not. Maybe yeah, like a mental breakdown, and she's just like can't
Okay.
see, can't. Yeah.
I'm not even sure what is going through my mind. I'm sorry. This was all I was able to write for you. I'm truly sorry. I will leave the wheel behind. It was my dearest treasure. Farewell. I loved you. May 8th, 1869.
So she did, or did she leave?
I don't know.
Oh, is he gonna break down and confront Maria about it? Wha-
Ooh.
What the hell is this?
He was visibly rattled, and unsurprisingly so. The mention of the Transcontinental Railroad's opening ceremony, the letters she had written, her dearest treasure, her profession of her love for him. and above all, the mangled text that appeared to have been written by someone not entirely in their right mind. Everything about it served to amplify his befuddlement.
You waited for me? How can that be? The turning ceremony is tomorrow. It hasn't happened yet. Why did you have to leave then? I'm here. I came for you just as I planned. The ceremony is on the 10th.
A second later, Jacopo gasped. The date written on the letter was the day prior, May 8th. Originally, the ceremony was planned to be held on May 8th, 1869. However, due to bad weather and a labor dispute, had been postponed for 2 days.
This can't be. I made sure you were informed. I had Maria. The madam is having an affair. Maria, no, you couldn't.
Scattered fragments of memory began coming together in his mind. Maria was the only one who had informed him of his wife's supposed unfaithfulness. And though the letters had not been addressed to him, thinking back on it, they had all been about him. In one letter she had mentioned treasuring a gift. Jacopo had assumed it meant a gift from another man. But in fact she had been referring to the scope sitting atop her desk, still spinning in the wind. At long, long last, he finally made that connection.
Well,
And
too
at,
late, though.
yep. And at the same time, he realized that the only person who could have altered the letters was someone they both trusted, Maria.
Never. She never even once betrayed me. She was not unfaithful at all. She waited unwaveringly for me. And I refused to believe her. I caused her pain again and again.
But his realizations came far too late. The white-haired girl's spirit had broken, and she was no longer at the mansion. Had he caught on to Maria's machinations sooner, things would not have turned out the way they had. But he was much too late.
Maria, why? Why would you do this?
Clenching the letter from his wife, Jacopo stormed out of the shed in search of Maria. But she was not in the room assigned to her.
Where are you? Where have you gone? Maria! Maria!
Several maids were roused from their slumber by the racket, but no one had the courage to speak up as the master of the house frantically charged through the halls. Eventually, he arrived at his own chamber. He was certain he had closed the door before leaving, but now a sliver of light shone through the gap between it and the frame. From within the room, he thought he could sense someone's presence. When he opened the door, there he saw, comfortably perched upon his own chair, a woman.
I've been waiting, Jacopo.
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
Oh. Oh.
Whoa.
I have very mixed feelings right now.
Everything from the chin down. Nice room you got here. Do you want to take a couple?
Okay.
Though I guess that's only natural, you being the man of the house and all. All these fancy furnishings. You do know this stuff's too good for you, right? And then me. I get that barren little maid's room. Drives me up the wall. So hey, Jacopo. Clear the air with your little lady yet? Wait, so she changed and got dressed and waited in this chair, hoping that he would catch on and read the letter and show up in the room.
She's just that extra, and I love her for
My
it.
God, Maria.
Maria!
I love that look on your face. I'm guessing you didn't make things better.
You know good and well that she's not even here anymore.
Well, yeah, but I still want to hear you say it, you know? I want to hear from your own mouth that you couldn't keep a leash on your woman, so you locked her up, drove her mad, broke her down, and then she ran away from you. Go on, say something. Climb back on your high horse and start shouting like you always do.
Why, Maria? Why would you do this?
Why? Why do you think? Because I fucking despise you. I love how we just gasped now. I'd been trying to figure out how I wanted to end things, but then they just fell apart on their own. The fates are smiling down upon me, I guess.
Nonsense! She was waiting for me until the day of the joining ceremony. And I was going to see her on that day. You knew the ceremony had been postponed.
That's what you get for putting it all in my hands. For thinking I'm the only one on your side. What? Did you think I'd just tell her like a good little maid? Not a chance in hell. I mean, talk about some fantastic news. You both picked the same day, but you've got the dates different. Absolutely perfect.
Maria, is that how you've always felt? How long have you held this grudge against me?
But what grudge? For what? How long? How long? How goddamn dense can you be? Must be nice living in your little fantasy world, Jacopo. And this is the next capo familia? Oh my god, my sides!
So you've always hated me.
Hello everyone again, welcome back to 4pixels. This is Kime and we're back with Gravity Rush. And as I always do, I took the liberty to walk myself towards the mission, episode 10, that I already read last time, so I'm not gonna do it now. So let's do it. You've been keeping busy, huh, Gravity Queen? Yeah, nice pick, they got your good side. Yeah, I kind of like that angle. What's that? Seems like you're taking this to this hero business. Yep, and I'm ready to bring back more of the city. Right, then let's get started. Dusty, no. Don't do it! Ew, what's that? They were like purple cookies. Oh, Nevi Deli. Eliminate unwanted Nevi. Nice.